When people talk about apocalypse guns, the conversation usually goes in a predictable direction. The biggest caliber, the longest range, the most battle-tested rifle ever made. But real survival doesn't happen on spec sheets or in perfect conditions. It happens when ammo is limited, parts are hard to find, and every bad decision sticks with you longer than you expect. In that kind of world, the question isn't what's the most powerful gun, it's what still works when everything else stops working. This list isn't about fantasy loadouts or showroom builds. It's about practical choices. Guns that people actually rely on because they're simple, common, and realistic to live with day after day. Some of these aren't glamorous. A few might even surprise you. But every one of them earns its place by doing a specific job well, without asking too much in return. These aren't the best guns in the world. They're the guns people trust when mistakes are expensive and backup doesn't exist. I'll start with the least dramatic gun on this list. And honestly, one of the most misunderstood. The Ruger 1022 isn't here because it looks cool or hits hard. It's here because it keeps solving problems long after louder rifles start creating new ones. Chambered in .22 long rifle, the most widely produced cartridge on the planet. The 1022 is simple blowback, lightweight, and incredibly forgiving. It's easy to keep running, easy to teach someone else to use, and easy to carry all day without hating your life by mile 10. You can stash hundreds of rounds in a backpack and barely notice the weight difference. This is not a defensive powerhouse. Nobody sane is pretending it is. But when survival turns into food acquisition, training, and staying quiet, this rifle shines. Small game, pest control, practice without burning precious ammo. This is where it earns its keep. Think of the 1022 as the gun that doesn't try to be a hero. It just shows up every day and does the boring jobs that actually keep you alive. If I had to pick one handgun to live with long term, this is where the conversation usually ends. The Glock 19 isn't exciting, and that's exactly the point. It's compact enough to carry, large enough to shoot well, and boringly reliable. Chambered in 9x19mm, it uses one of the most common handgun cartridges in the world. Magazines are everywhere, parts are everywhere, and the design itself is about as mechanically straightforward as modern pistols get. Fewer moving parts, fewer surprises. In a situation where mistakes stack up fast, that matters. The Glock 19 isn't a primary fighting rifle, and it's not meant to be. It's a sidearm, a tool you can keep on you when a long gun isn't practical, or when you need something that works with minimal thought. It's also forgiving under stress, which is something spec sheets never talk about. No, you're not hunting deer with it, but as a constant companion, a backup, and a problem solver at close range. It earns its spot without argument. When the conversation turns to shotguns, in an end-of-the-world scenario, people usually argue semi-auto versus pump. I'll take the manual option every time. The Remington 870 represents something important. Simplicity you can feel. This is a pump-action 12-gauge. No gas system to tune. No cycling speed to worry about. If it doesn't fire, it's usually because you didn't run it correctly. And that's a problem you can fix immediately. In bad conditions, mechanical honesty is a feature. A shotgun's real strength is flexibility. Birdshot, buckshot, slugs. One platform, multiple jobs. Defense inside realistic distances. Hunting medium game. Even breaching barriers if you absolutely had to. It's not light. And it's not a long-range solution, but it doesn't pretend to be. The 870 isn't elegant. It's a tool built for people who expect things to get dirty and stay that way. When reliability matters more than speed or comfort, this kind of design becomes very hard to argue against. The SKS is one of those rifles that quietly refuses to disappear from serious survival conversations. It doesn't have detachable magazines everywhere. It's not modular, and it definitely doesn't look modern. But that's exactly why a lot of experienced shooters still trust it. Chambered in 7.62 by 39, the SKS feeds from a fixed internal magazine using stripper clips. That detail matters more than people think. In a situation where magazines are damaged, lost, or simply unavailable, being able to load reliably without them is a real advantage. The operating system is simple, rugged, and forgiving with a wide range of ammunition quality. Accuracy is practical, not impressive. You're not shooting tiny groups at long range, but inside realistic distances, it does exactly what's asked of it. Maintenance is straightforward, and the rifle tolerates neglect better than many newer designs. The SKS isn't flashy, and it doesn't win internet arguments. What it does win is time. And in survival scenarios, staying functional longer than everyone else often matters more than having the most refined tool. Bolt-action rifles get dismissed too quickly by people who've never relied on one. The Remington 700 earns its place here not because it's fast, but because it's predictable, and predictability keeps you alive. This rifle is commonly chambered in .308 Winchester or .30-06 Springfield, both of which are widely available hunting calibers with proven effectiveness on medium and large game. The bolt-action design keeps the system mechanically simple. Fewer moving parts means fewer failure points. And that matters when you don't have spare components sitting in a drawer. A good bolt gun rewards patience and discipline. Ammo lasts longer. Shots are deliberate. Maintenance is straightforward, even in poor conditions. And despite what people assume, a trained shooter can cycle a bolt far faster than most expect. This is not a close-quarters defensive rifle. And it doesn't try to be, it's a food getter, a confidence tool. When every round matters and mistakes are expensive, the Remington 700 shines by forcing you to slow down and do things right. The Tavor X95 represents a different survival philosophy. Compact efficiency without sacrificing capability. It's not traditional. And it's not cheap, but it solves a specific problem extremely well. This bullpup rifle is chambered in .556 by .45 NATO and uses standard AR magazines, which immediately gives it an advantage in logistics. The short overall length paired with a full-length barrel makes it ideal for confined spaces, vehicles, and urban movement while still delivering rifle-level performance. The gas piston system runs cleaner than direct impingement, especially in dirty environments. That said, it's not maintenance-free. Suppressor use increases fouling, and repairs aren't as intuitive as an AR. You trade familiarity for compactness. Where the X95 earns its spot is balance. It's maneuverable, accurate within realistic distances, and durable enough to handle rough handling. This isn't a rifle for tinkerers or constant modification. It's a rifle for people who want something compact, proven, and capable, without carrying extra inches they don't need. For M1A Scout Squad, there's a difference between choosing a rifle with your head and choosing one with your gut. The M1A Scout Squad sits right in the middle of that line. It's not the lightest option here, and it's definitely not the easiest to support long-term. But people still trust it for a reason. Chambered in .308 Winchester, the Scout Squad uses an 18-inch barrel that strikes a balance between power and maneuverability. The gas piston system is robust and familiar to anyone who appreciates older battle rifle designs. This is a rifle that feels solid, almost stubborn, like it expects to be used hard and kept running through discipline rather than convenience. Where it shines is versatility. It can hunt large game, reach out farther than intermediate caliber rifles, and still function as a defensive tool when needed. Where it struggles is weight, recoil management, and logistics. Parts and magazines aren't as common as AR pattern rifles, and you feel every pound when you carry it all day. The Scout Squad earns its place not because it's efficient, but because it inspires confidence. And sometimes, confidence is what keeps people making smart decisions under pressure. The AK platform carries more mythology than almost any rifle on Earth, and that mythology cuts both ways. It's not immortal, it's not maintenance-free, and it absolutely can rust and malfunction if abused. But stripping away the legend reveals something still very hard to ignore. Chambered most commonly in .762 by .39, the AK uses a long-stroke gas piston system, designed to function under poor conditions with inconsistent ammunition. Loose tolerances aren't a flaw here. They're intentional. Dirt, sand, and carbon fouling tend to slow accuracy before they stop function. What keeps the AK relevant in survival discussions is global availability. Ammunition exists far beyond one country or supply chain. Magazines are simple, durable, and interchangeable across countless variants. You don't need precision tools or a deep understanding of the platform to keep it running. The trade-off is accuracy and ergonomics. This isn't a precision rifle, and it's not particularly friendly to modern optics without modification. But when simplicity, durability, and worldwide support matter more than refinement, the AK remains impossible to dismiss. The R15 earns this position not because it's perfect, but because it's everywhere. In a long-term collapse scenario, ubiquity becomes a form of reliability, and no rifle benefits from that more than the AR. Most AR-15s are chambered in .556 by .45 NATO, a cartridge that balances recoil, range, and weight extremely well. The direct impingement system is often criticized for running dirty, but it's also lightweight, accurate, and well understood. When something breaks, someone usually knows how to fix it, and parts are often interchangeable across brands. This platform excels in adaptability, barrels, bolts, triggers, stocks, And optics can all be swapped or replaced without specialized equipment. Magazines are standardized and widely available. Training resources are endless, which matters when stress levels are high and mistakes cost time. The downside is maintenance. An AR neglected long enough will eventually stop cooperating. But with even basic care, it rewards the user with accuracy, controllability, and flexibility that few other rifles can match. It's not romantic, it's practical. And practicality is why it almost takes the top spot. Imagine stripping everything down to one question. What rifle gives you the fewest problems over the longest time? Not the most powerful, not the most famous, just the one that keeps asking the least from you when you're already stretched thin. That's where a piston-driven AR quietly makes its case. It keeps the AR platform's biggest strength intact. Common magazines, common ammunition, and widespread parts, while addressing one of its long-term weaknesses. By separating heat and carbon from the bolt carrier group, the piston system reduces fouling where it matters most. Chambered in 5.56 by 45 or 308 depending on the build. This setup stays familiar to anyone who's run an AR before. Controls, optics mounting, and handling all remain intuitive. At the same time, the rifle becomes more tolerant of irregular cleaning and harsh conditions, which is exactly what prolonged instability creates. This isn't a minimalist rifle, and it isn't cheap. You're trading simplicity for resilience. But when logistics favor the AR ecosystem and reality favors cleaner operation, this hybrid approach starts to make a lot of sense. It's not about legend or loyalty to a platform. It's about choosing the option that breaks fewer rules and fewer parts when the margin for error is gone. Underscore, 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 underscore. Underscore, 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 underscore. Underscore, underscore. No list like this is perfect. Different environments, different skills, different priorities. All of that changes the answer. But what doesn't change is this. Survival rewards. Practicality, not hype. Every gun on this list earned its place by being realistic to live with when conditions aren't forgiving. Not because it looks good on camera, not because it wins arguments online, but because it solves problems without creating new ones. Some are simple, some are modern. All of them come with trade-offs. And understanding those trade-offs matters more than chasing a best option. If you had to cut this list down even further, which one would you keep? And which one would you leave behind? That answer probably says more about your situation than any ranking ever could. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them, and they shape what comes next. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe for more grounded discussions like this, and take care of each other out there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.